Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mr. Joshua with another custom toy review. So this is part two of my cyclops modification that I started doing last night. So in my last video, I explained to you guys that the cyclops, regardless of how amazing his articulation is, he has 36 points of articulation. Toy Biz did a really shitty job on his head joint. Originally, he had a swivel joint, which didn't really make any sense to me because all the swivel joint could do is let his head move from left to right, or even a 360 if he wanted to. He couldn't move the head up and down or anything else. And so what I did was I very gently got into the crease of the side of his head, and I popped it open. And I took very carefully. I took the head off of the swivel joint. I cut the swivel joint off. I rounded off his neck. And then I realized that he actually had some weird, like, LED lighting in his head. So long story short, I dremeled and I tore that shit out. I found a ball joint that I liked. I installed the ball joint on his neck, glued it in. And then about 5 minutes ago, I took the head after I pre-drilled a ball joint hole for it. And I used some heat glue, filled in the cavity, and I placed a cavity right there in the ball joint. I let it dry up and cool down. And so what that did was it actually created my own like ball joint hole, especially custom for this figure. And now I'm going to show you guys his articulation on his head now. Since we already went down on all of the articulation on the body. Very great articulation, by the way. Fucking, pretty cheap. I bought this figure for $13 and it was definitely worth every penny. So further ado, check this shit out. Now he can move from side to side. He can do that 360 now. He can look up, look down, all that great stuff. Check that out. Very cool. Whole lot better than the swivel joint that he had originally. And so what else I did too is I took some olive oil too, and I put a very light coat on there, so that way the glue that I used in here when it stick to the ball joint, I would have fucked myself. But let's do a closer look. There we go. No. Yes. Cool. So as you can see, I filled this up with a hot glue. I think the hot glue that I used was like Mod Podge hot glue or some shit. But it's not wanting to focus. There we go. So anyways, before I put the glue in there, as you can see, I just dremeled out the bottom part of the chin, and just put a big giant gap in there too, so that way he had better articulation for the head movement. And I took the hot glue, filled that in, and I immediately put it on here, and bam, it works. And the trick that I did too is I put it on there very carefully, and the reason I put it on there carefully is because as long as the glue is still hot, I was able to basically position the neck where I wanted it to be. So that way when the glue hardened and cooled down, it would be in the position where it needed to be for the better articulation for the head. But yeah, it was actually very easy to do. And of course, I need to do some clean up right there on the edges that I cut into, which really is no problem. It'll only take me a couple of seconds. But literally, this was maybe if you don't count how long it took for the glue to dry, because I let it dry overnight last night. I really didn't want to fuck with ball joint with wet glue. So if you minus the almost 24 hours I waited, and we just account for the work time I put into it, it literally took me about maybe 30 minutes, if that. And the reason why it took me about 30 minutes is because I had very carefully, cut into these little seams right there, and loosen the head up just enough for me to pop it off the swivel joint. But yeah, about 30 minutes without the glue time. And yeah, way better articulation. The only problem that I have is I can't get his head to move like all the way up, like, you know, for example, have him look like way up this way, you know. And the reason why is because I need like a ball joint swivel thing going on there. And I actually have one too, a buddy of mine who does 3D printing. He originally made this for me for like, you know, his Power Rangers, and he just, you know, gave one to me. So here we go. Check that out. This is, you know, something that I'm probably going to use in the near future. But the only reason why I didn't use it on this figure was because, you know, one, it's a little bit too small for my own taste, and two, I didn't really have a lock joint or anything to put in there. Because as you see in these, actually this one doesn't have one. That's strange. But yeah, he actually has like a swivel ball joint thing too as well, so you can go up and down. But usually they'll have like a lock joint that goes in there. I know that the Power Rangers Legacy lines, they have those, which I have one right here. Let's pull them out for a second. As you can see in there, he's got a little, you know, lock joint you push in there, and it locks the joint in place. But in order for me to, you know, put this in there, I would have to do a lot of modification to the head. And to be honest with you, I just didn't really want to do it because I'm not going to be keeping this figure, you know. He's going to be turned into a zombie. A really fucking cool zombie. And one of the cool things about this figure, too, is the fact that he's, you know, kind of scrawny. So since he's, you know, kind of scrawny, he's gonna be a really great looking zombie, because he's gonna look malnutritioned and all that great stuff. And pretty excited about turning this dude into a zombie. And before I work on him, I'm gonna finish on the Wolverine zombie. And I want this Wolverine zombie to look more, you know, brutal looking, I guess. Maybe a little more fresher. Now, as you can see, he's got a couple of, you know, bullet holes and all that great stuff. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this guy turns out. And unfortunately, I am going to have to paint the arms, which is actually not that bad at all. You know, it's going to be like bare minimum paint for me for this guy, you know, versus the other Wolverine that I did. All that I literally have to do is, you know, paint these parts and the face. Versus this guy, I had to paint the face and like practically whole entire arm, you know. It can be a hassle, but I got it done. But yeah, that's it for Cyclops. You know, way better articulation than he ever had before. You know, super simple, super easy. And all you need is a heat gun. Well, all you need is a Dremel, a ball joint, glue, hot glue gun, and that's pretty much it. And if you guys like my videos, please like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.